Hello, Geometry. It's Mr. Lamb coming to you with the answer key to the Unit 1 test. As I go through this key, I'm going to give you a couple of different pieces of information. I'll also fill you in on how many points every question was worth, as well as the total number of points on a given page, so on and so forth. So let me start out by letting you know that the overall test is out of 34 points. So I'm going to take whatever you get, and I'm going to make it out of 34. The grade then goes into the grade book times 3. So you can essentially take this as a triple grade if you're wondering about where the grade comes from. Well, let's just go ahead and jump right in. It says use the following diagram for questions 1 through 3. And part 1 and question 2 are talking about naming lines and planes in multiple ways. And understand that there are a lot of other ways that we can name this. So I'm just going to give you a couple of them, and then maybe I'll even tell you a few of them that I think might be some that would trip us up, or some things that I noticed as I was grading them that were throwing us off a little bit. This one might be a little bit easier to tell because your paper's printed black and white, but you do see that you have 2 different shades of gray in your 2 planes. So here you can see we have an orange plane being intersected by a yellow plane. Now those 2 planes are going to intersect one another. And then I also have this line. And this line is coming up from underneath the plane and cutting right through the orange plane. So I have a line that cuts through a plane, and I have 2 planes that intersect as well. So number 1 says name 2 lines that are on plane ABC. So plane ABC is the orange plane. So as I'm looking at it, that is the orange plane. And I have to name 2 lines. Now one of the things of confusion here, I had a lot of people look at this and say, well, there are no lines, there's just segments. And that's true. What you see is a segment. But if you really think about what a plane is, a plane does not stop. That plane is going to continue all the way out to infinity. So yes, as I look at segment AB, so let me highlight segment AB here. As I look at segment AB, yes, it is a segment, but that plane is actually extending forever and ever and ever in both of those directions. So this AB, although we only see the segment part of it, that AB is actually a line, and it is going to go all the way out to infinity. Now, if you did not put a line over top of it, I did not count that against you. But understand that if it says name 2 lines, name it line. Don't name a segment or array. Name it a line. Another line, if it says name 2 of them, so I'll take a different one. I could do BC. And again, that plane is going to continue, so those lines would continue. I could have done CD. I could have done FH, AD, BC, FB, BF, CH, HC. Any of those. Really, the only 2 points that you could not have used G or E. Because that line EG is not in plane ABC. It cuts through plane ABC. So it only touches in 1 point, at point G. Number 2 says name plane ABC in 2 different ways. Again, that orange plane. If I had to name this another way. So plane ABC is one way. I could name it by this little letter down here in the corner. That's not a point. There is no point there. The closest point to this letter is a D. So point D is down in the corner. But the orange plane is plane N. So I could have named that plane N. Had a lot of people pick that one. Had a lot of people also leave out the word plane. Remember, if you were naming a plane, you better tell me it's a plane. The orange plane, another way to name it, is any 3 points that are not in the same line. Any 3 non-collinear points. So I can use any point on this, in this graph except E. You can't use E, but any 3 points, and they just can't be in the same straight line. So you cannot do AFB. You cannot do DHC. But I can use any other one. So I'll go GAB. I could call it GAB. I could have went FBC or DHA or DCB or GFH, a whole bunch of different combinations there. But you had to use any 3 points that are not in the same straight line, or the little fancy cursive kind of fancy font that's down in the corner. Would have been another way. Question 3, had a lot of people actually forget to do question 3. I don't know what had happened. You just kind of must have jumped over it. So did see a lot of people here that jumped over this one. But it asks if the points E and H are coplanar. So if I look, where's E? Here's E down here, and here's H. So we see that E is on a line that's underneath the orange plane. It's somewhere down in space. H is in 2 different planes. H is actually in the orange plane, and it's also in the yellow plane. So H sits in 2 different planes. E does not sit in either one. So are they coplanar? The answer is no, they are not. They're not coplanar. Part B says H and F. So here's H, and here's F. And it wants to know if they are collinear. Are they on the same line? And you can see right here is the line that they share. So yes, they are collinear. Collinear meaning in the same line. Scoring for this part, for this first part up here, 1, 2, and 3, you got 2 points for question 1. You got 2 points for question 2. You got 2 points for question 3. So as I'm taking a look at that, 2, 2, and 2. So so far we're up to 6 total points. Scroll down, let's take a look at question 4. Question 4 has an A, B, and a C. Each one of these are worth a point apiece. So this section here is worth 3 points. So we got 3 points here. And it wants us to name the vertex of angle 5. A vertex is a point. I know that. So this is some point. And I have to find angle 5. Right here is angle 5. If I look at where the point is made at angle 5, that vertex is point M. It is not an angle. That is a point. Point M is the vertex. Number 8. Write another name for angle 8. So I'm going to highlight angle 8 over here. Here's angle 8. Right there. If I were to kind of extend those out, let's see where those lines go. Right there. So angle 8, another way to name an angle is to use to use 3 points and make sure the vertex is in the middle. So angle 8. So the vertex O has to be in the middle. So I can either go M, O, P. I could have went M, O, R. I could have called it R, O, M. I could have called it P, O, M. I am not allowed to just call it angle O. And if you look, let me get rid of the red in there. If I look and say, look at angle O. O is a point that actually has 4 different angles. You see this angle here, angle 8. You see this angle here, angle 7. You see this angle here that's not labeled. And you see this angle down here in the other corner. So I have 4 angles made at point O. So you cannot call it angle O. You do have to give it 3 letters. As I look at part C, it says write another name for angle ONM. So here we go, ONM. I just kind of highlight those, and I can see that there is a 6 in that corner, so I can call this angle 6. The other thing I could have done is I could have just reversed the order of the letters. Instead of ONM, I could have went MNO, and that would have been fine as well. Now let's jump down here to question number 5. Question number 5 is actually worth 3 points. and I'll show you where the 3 points come from. You're going to get 2 points to find the value of x. So this is going to give you 2 points. Then I take your value of x, whatever it is, whether it's right or wrong, and then I'm going to plug your value of x in, and I'm going to try to find AZ. If I can find AZ with the wrong x, so you've done the process right, but you had missed the variable, you can still get one of the 3 points, even if you missed x. So x is going to give you 2 points. AZ will give you 1 point. So question 5 says, in the diagram below, JB bisects AD. That means bisect. This word here, bisect, means to cut in half. So this segment AZ and that segment ZD have to be congruent. They have to be the same length. So it says that AZ is 2x minus 1. And DZ is 6x minus 11. Find the value of x and AZ. So I just said the word bisect means to cut in half. So I will set 2x minus 1 equal to 6x minus 11. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. I have negative 1, 4x minus 11. And I'm going to add 11 to both sides. Big mistake here. A lot of people made this mistake. Negative 1 plus 11 is 10. Equals 4x. Divide by 4. And I get a decimal answer. So if you do 10 divided by 4, you get 2.5. Now, this is also the reduced fraction 5 over 2. I did not take points off, but you may, if you left it as 10 over 4, understand that there was a chance I probably wrote simplify or reduce, right? Because I want you to reduce that if you can reduce it. If it reduces, go ahead and reduce it now. So that's worth 2 points. That's finding x. Then it tells us to find AZ. And we are told, right here, look up here, AZ, it is equal to 2x minus 1. So AZ is equal to 2 times the x value, which is 2.5, minus 1. So that means AZ is equal to 5 minus 1. So that means AZ is equal to 4 units. Remember, AZ is a measurement of a segment, so I will try to put a unit on there if I can. If I don't know, I just put the word units. If you were looking at 2 times 5 over 2, no matter if you're multiplying the fraction or the decimal version of it, you're still going to end up getting 5. So that is page 1 of the key, and next video will be page 2.